Hi, my name is Jennifer. Welcome to the Zen Mobile Yoga YouTube channel. For today's video, we'll be doing a series of poses which will help prevent sciatic nerve flare-up. Now these poses will also help you if you suffer from lower back pain as well. If you do suffer from what you think is sciatic nerve pain, it's best to just get it checked out by your doctor just to make sure it's not something worse going on with the spine. And also sometimes that pain deep in your glutes or your butt can be mistaken for sciatic nerve pain when it's actually just a tight piriformis muscle. But either way, it's important to know, because if it is in fact a sciatic nerve flare-up or inflammation, you'll want to avoid stretching altogether during that flare-up time. The key here is to try the different poses and see which ones feel best for your body. For most of these poses, it will be focusing on stretching the hamstrings as well as the external hip rotators, which will create space in the SI joints, as well as working on strengthening weakened muscles. So grab your strap, your block, and a blanket, and I will meet you on the mat. Okay, so we are going to start in a supine position. So on our backs, grab your strap. And as you lie down, we're going to go ahead and put the right ankle on the left knee. And then we're going to bring the left leg up, interlace our fingers behind the left thigh. And if this is a good enough stretch for you, you can stay here. You can use your strap around the back of the leg to help you if you need to do that. Another option for the more flexible students is to straighten the leg. And if you straighten the leg, you could also bring the strap around that leg. So if this is an option for you, go ahead and do it. And you should begin to feel a stretch in that left hamstring. Keep the feet flexed, the toes spread. Soften the muscles in the face. We're going to take a few breaths here. And each time you exhale, notice the tightness softening. And see if you can bring the leg a little bit closer. And then go ahead and take one more breath here. As you exhale, we're going to release the strap by bending the knee. Bring the left foot down to the mat. And then we're going to take the right leg and just cross it over the left as if we're sitting and crossing our legs, and we're going to come into a twist here. Bring the arms out to the sides of the body and allow the knees to drop to the left. A big part of lower back pain is obviously tight muscles in the lower back, but the twists are what are going to stretch those lower back muscles out. There are other benefits to it as well. And then take a few breaths here. You can look over the right fingertips if you want, if that's okay for your neck. Make sure you're not clenching the jaw or frowning the eyebrows. Soften the muscles in the face. Feel the belly rise and fall. Take one more breath here. And then as you exhale, slowly come back to center. Uncross the legs. Grab your strap. You can put it, if you know that's what you're going to be needing, bring the left ankle to the right knee, straighten the right leg, and then go ahead and bring that right leg up. Take a couple of breaths here. Actually 3 or 4 good breaths. Relax the shoulders towards the mat. Spread the toes, keeping the feet flexed. See if you can bring the right leg a little bit closer. And on your next exhalation, slowly bring that right foot back down to the mat, releasing the strap, crossing the legs, coming into a twist on the other side. So the left leg is over the right now. Drop. If your neck is okay with that, and take a few breaths here, soften the torso. You might feel a stretch in the hip here. Softening the muscles in the lower back and keeping the belly soft is going to help allow the twist to do everything that it can do for you in this pose. Helping detox the organs. Sometimes if we have tight muscles in the lower back, that can affect our digestive system as well. So the twisting helps that. Take one more breath here. And as you exhale slowly, uncross the legs. And then we're going to go into Supta Padangusthasana, or hand to big toe pose. Now some of us will need to use the strap as well. For the student that can keep their legs straight and grab the big toe, I want you to go ahead and do that. Keep this knee bent at first, taking a few breaths. If you're going to use the strap, put it around the arch of the foot at this time. So left hand stays out to the side. Take a few breaths here. You'll notice we're really isolating the muscles in the back of the leg. We'll be focusing on that throughout the whole practice today. And after one more breath, I want you to straighten the left leg. If this becomes too intense, then you can keep the knee bent. And we're just warming up right now before we get into more of a flow. And on your next exhalation, I want you to open this leg out to the side. So again, if you have your finger to the big toe, keep that where it is. And very slowly engage the abdominals. Keep the left hip glued to the mat. Go ahead and open that leg up. The left leg is staying very strong here. So you're actively engaging the left leg. The left foot is flexed, the toes are spread. Again, the left hip is glued. Take a couple more breaths here. And feel that opening in the inner part of the right leg. And then go ahead and bend the knee, release the strap, or release the toe, and come back to center. We're going to switch legs. So keeping the right leg bent at first, either hook onto the big toe or use the strap. I am grateful that even as a yoga teacher, I can keep my ego out of the equation here. I have a lot of students that are much more flexible than me, especially when it comes to the hamstrings. So don't ever judge yourself. We are where we are. Hopefully one day I'll be, out of the tight hamstrings club, but not today. So take a few breaths here before we straighten the right leg. Pressing out through the heel of the left foot. And on your next exhalation, straighten that right leg. Again, if that's too intense, back it up a little bit. And we don't want the leg out to the side. We want to try to stay as close to the center line of the body as possible. And after one more breath, we're gonna engage the abdominal muscles and we're gonna slowly open the leg. Right leg is active, strong. Toes are facing up towards the ceiling. Right hip is glued to the floor. Opening up the hips here. We'll take a couple of breaths. And on your next exhalation, go ahead and slowly release. So bend the knee. You can let the strap go to safely come out of it. We're gonna bend both knees, bring them up to the chest, give them a hug here, rock a little bit back and forth. So just another rocker here, and then we're gonna roll slowly onto our ourselves up to a seated position. We can keep our strap off to the side for now. And we're gonna come into a seated lotus pose. Now, if this isn't accessible to you, just sit cross-legged. Otherwise, we're gonna take the top of the right foot and put it on the top of the left thigh. Same thing with the other side, top of the left foot on the top of the right thigh. Opening the hips here, that's what we're looking to do, create space in the hips, create space so we're not pressing on that sciatic nerve, causing it to inflame and you know, you get those shooting pains down the legs and the numbness, which is awful. I've had it once or twice. It is awful. We're just gonna do a couple of twists here. So go ahead and inhale and bring the arms up. Exhale, bring the right hand down and we're gonna lean to the right, stretching the left side of the body, feeling the left side of the body open. Inhale, come back to center, bring that right arm up. As you exhale, left arm goes down, we lean to the left. Don't collapse the chest here, keep it nice and open. And then as we come back to center, we're gonna bring the right hand behind us. Left hand is going to go on the right knee. Inhale and lengthen, lift the chest, lengthening the spine. Exhale, twist. So soften the spine, looking off to the right. One more breath. Exhale, come back to center. Right hand to the outside of the left knee. Left fingertips behind you. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, soften. Taking a couple breaths here. Shoulders away from the ears. And then exhale and come back to center. Go ahead and untwist the legs, bring the soles of the feet together. We're just gonna come into our bound angle pose here for a moment. We don't wanna flap the knees. We're just bringing the bottoms of the feet together, or the soles of the feet together, holding on to the toes, feeling an opening in the hips. Draw the shoulder blades together and down. If it's comfortable for you to fold forward in this pose, go ahead. On your next exhalation, come forward. But listen to your body, don't go too far. Next exhalation, slowly come back up. Good, and we're gonna do some more twists. We're keeping the right leg bent. We're gonna take the left foot, put it on the outside of the right knee. Bring that right arm up and over until the elbow is on the outside of the left knee, and we're gonna keep this arm bent. So we're doing the half Lord of the Fishes pose. Left fingertips facing away from the body. Inhale, lengthen. Again, exhale, soften. If you're able to keep the chest lifted here, go ahead and bring the palms together, looking over the left shoulder. One more breath. Exhale, back to center. Other side, left leg bent. Right foot to the outside of the left knee. Right fingertips behind you. Left arm comes up and over. So the elbow is going to press into the knee to help you lift the chest. Keep that arm bent, left arm bent. Inhale, lift. Exhale, soften. Bring the hands together if you wish. If this stops you from keeping the chest lifted or the spine lengthened, then we'll just keep it with the right hand on the floor. One more breath. Pressing the right foot into the floor. Exhale, come back to center. The next twist we're going to do is the noose twist. So we're going to come into a squatted position. I'm going to do it sideways for you. You can stay exactly where you are. So basically we are going to be squatting. If your heels are too high off the ground, I want you to take a blanket, fold that blanket and put it under the heels. This is going to help you with your foundation of the pose. So the knees are open. We're going to start by putting the elbows on the inside of the legs and bringing the palms together. So here we have our regular squat. Take a couple of breaths here. Spine is nice and long. We're stretching the lower back muscles. Dropping the sacrum towards the floor. And then to come into a twist for this pose, we bring the knees together. And we're going to take the right hand, shifting your knees to the right. Your right elbow is going to go to the outside of the left knee. The left arm, if you are able to bring it around, you might be able to bind and grab your hands. I'm not able to do that, so I'm just going to bring my left arm behind me. That way I can keep my chest lifted. And I'm going to stretch this way. Take 3 breaths here. Chest lifted, reaching out through the crown of the head. Exhale, release. And then go ahead and do the other side. So knees are going to shift to the left. Left elbow comes to the outside of the right knee. Right arm comes behind the back. Or if you're able to keep the chest lifted and bind those hands together, you can. I don't recommend doing any binding unless you have a teacher in person, but if you've done it before, go ahead. One more breath here. And go ahead and release. Good. So go ahead and remove the blanket for now. We're going to bring the hands to the mat so palms are nice and flat. If you need help with the foundations of some of these poses, go ahead and look back at some of my tutorials. But we're going to go ahead and just get into this here. So come into plank. Shoulders over the wrists. Take a couple of breaths here, navel to the spine. And from here, we're going to come into cobra. So as you inhale, drop the pelvis. Uncurl the toes. Exhale. Feel the stretch of the abdomen. Take another breath here. Actively pressing the toes into the mat, shoulders away from the ears. Next exhalation, go ahead and come into child's pose. Widen the knees, sit on the heels. We'll take it slow the first time, and then the next time we'll go a little bit faster. You can rock the body back and forth here, warming up the arms a little bit. Walk the fingers forward. Stretch the arms. Allow the pelvis to be heavy on the heels. And then on your next exhalation, we're coming back into plank. So press the palms. Curl the toes under, come back into your plank. Good, nice deep breath in, exhale, lower. Uncurl the toes, stretch the abdomen, don't compress the lower back. Imagine you're creating space between each vertebra. As you press the feet, you lengthen through the crown of the head. Nice deep breath in, exhale, child's. One breath here. Exhale, come forward. Curl the toes under, come into our first down dog. Bring those hip sockets up to the ceiling and then go ahead and walk the dog out. So warm up the body, warm up the legs. Good, get nice and cozy in your body here. Start to feel what's going on. Maybe you're feeling things loosen up already. Slow down your walk, come to a stop, bring that right leg up in the air. Three-legged dog here. Open that right leg up, that right hip, go ahead and bend the knee. Take another breath. As you exhale, bring the right foot forward, coming into a lunge. So go ahead and drop the back knee. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, soften the hips forward, coming into crescent here. So reach back, hips forward. Good. Exhale, bring the hands down. Right leg back, coming into our plank. Exhale, cobra. Good. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, come back into child's pose. Inhale, back to hands and knees. Curl the toes under, up into downward facing dog. Press the thigh bones up and back. Get some good length in the spine. And then bring that left leg up, coming into three-legged dog. Good. Bend the left leg, open up the hips, creating space. Exhale, bring the left foot forward. Drop the back knee for your lunge. Inhale, swoop the arms up. Lean back into crescent. Exhale, soften the hips forward. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands down. Come into plank. Shoulders over the wrists, navel to the spine. Deep breath in. Exhale, come down into your cobra. Curl the toes under. As you exhale, come into child's. Good. Don't forget to breathe through the poses. As we're flowing from pose to pose, use your breath. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, come to hands and knees. Curl the toes under. Come up into downward facing dog. Pressing all the roots of the fingers into the mat. And then we're going to widen the legs. So go ahead and bring your feet to the edges of the mat. The right hand can come to the center for support. The left hand is going to grab the outside of the right leg. So another twist here, upside down twist. Take another breath. Bring that hand back, left hand to center, right hand's going to grab the outside of the left leg. Doesn't matter if it's the upper leg, maybe you can grab the outside of the foot. I'm more of in the calf area. Take another breath. Feeling that stretch in the IT band, the outside of the leg. Right hand comes back. We're going to walk our feet up towards the hands. Good. And again, widen the feet. We're going to hang here for a moment. So nice and long in the spine. Reach out through the crown of the head. Hinge forward at the hips. You're going to have some flexion in the back here. That's okay. But we don't want to be rounding the back. We want to try to get the stomach as close to the thighs as possible. Grab the elbows, grab opposite elbows, and just hang here for a moment. And sway gently back and forth. Release all the muscles in the back of the neck. We like to see what's going on. Our head wants to be in charge. Let the head hang. Press all four corners of the feet into the mat for support. And just take another breath here. Go ahead and slightly bend the knees. We're going to inhale, come halfway up. Reach out through the crown of the head. Nice long spine here. Shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, fold forward. You can slightly bend the knees here. Inhale, swoop the arms up. Palms together. Exhale, hands in front of the heart. Good. Bring the feet together, coming into Tadasana. Good. Just take a moment here to feel the beating of the heart, to check in with yourself. to recalibrate the breath, to make sure your mind is here in the present in your practice. Go ahead and begin to slowly open the eyes. And then we're going to go ahead and bring the left leg back. Make sure your block is handy. We're coming into triangle here. So right toes are facing forward, knee is lined up with the second and third toes. If you're going to use a block, make sure it's on the outside of the right leg. We're going to take our right fingertips, press into that right hip crease, shifting the left hip out behind us. Right arm is going to come forward. So we're reaching forward, lengthening the spine as much as we can. Drop that right hand down. Last step, twist open the shoulders. You're opening up the shoulder girdle. Left fingertips up to the ceiling. The head can be wherever it's comfortable for your neck. And if it's not comfortable for your arm, you can keep that down too. You're still in triangle here. It's just an option. You could also gaze up at that thumb. Take a couple of breaths here. Externally rotating the thighs. On your next exhalation, bend the right knee. Take the right forearm to the right knee, and we're going to come into our lateral angle here, our extended side angle. So pressing in the left heel, reaching out through the right fingertips, keeping the chest open. Again, let's take 2 more really good breaths here. Really reaching. Palm can be facing behind you. We want a nice straight arm here. And then go ahead and exhale. Bring the left hand down to the inside of the foot, and we're going to revolve this. So bring the right fingertips up to the ceiling now. Legs are staying exactly where they were. Take another breath. You can shift your block over this way too. Can help you get into that twist better. One more breath. As you exhale, bring that right hand down. We're going to come into half moon from here. So some of you don't use a block. I do. You can have your hand on the floor if you want. That left leg is going to come up. Find your focus point, use your breath. And open up the left side of the body. Flex the foot. Take one more breath here. And then slowly bring that left hand down. Woo! Bringing the left foot down. Good. Bringing the feet together. We're going to forward fold here. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, slightly bend the knees as you swoop the arms up. Exhale, hands in front of the heart. Going right into the other side. Right leg back for triangle. Straighten that front knee. Make sure the front knee is straight for triangle or Trikonasana. Use the block if you want to or if you need to. Press into that left groin, sending the right hip out. Reach forward with the left fingertips and then come right down. Open up the shoulders, stack the shoulders, right fingertips up to the ceiling. Take a few breaths here. Be sure you're actively rotating the thighs open. So the upper legs are engaged here. No lazy legs. Take one more breath. There's different levels to the block. So once you're warmed up a little bit in this pose, you can drop the block down, maybe come to the floor. Next exhalation, bend the left knee. Bring the left forearm to the left knee. Straighten that right arm up and over the ear. You might drop the right heel a little bit. Coming into your extended side angle. Good. Couple of breaths here. Sorry you have to look at my back for a few minutes. That's why I wear this ugly microphone though. All right, one more breath. As you exhale, bring that right arm down to the floor or to a block. And then twist open, bringing the left fingertips up to the ceiling. Take a few breaths here. Exhale, bring that left hand down. Get ready for our half moon on the other side, our Ardha Chandrasana. Lifting the right leg. So in this pose, our lifted leg is not going to be rotated in. It's going to be open. We're opening the hips here. And if you feel like you cannot balance with the arm up, having the leg up is just fine. Remember, it's always an option to use a wall or a chair as well. And take a few breaths here. Be sure that right foot is flexed. And you obviously aren't going to balance if you're too far forward. Your center of gravity has to be lined up with the hip over the ankle. Take one more breath. Lifting from the inner leg. Exhale. Go ahead and bend the left knee. Bring that right leg down. And we're going to fold forward. Rest the legs for a moment. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come halfway up. Swoop the arms up, palms together. Exhale, hands in front of the heart. Now don't be discouraged for this next one, but you might want the blocks. So we're coming into Hanumanasana, and there are a lot of people that cannot do the splits, but that's not what this is about. It is about just going as far as you can. So you can drop the back knee. You can support yourself with a block or two, and just do what you can here. The story about Hanuman was that he, after being persistent, overcoming obstacles, he leapt across the whole ocean with his long legs extended just like that. So that's the story behind this pose. Take one more breath because we're going into pigeon from here. Nice long spine. Good. And for those of you that have never done this pose before, you're going to probably notice stretching in places you've never stretched before. So bend that left leg coming into pigeon. Internally rotate that back right leg. And take a few breaths here. We're just staying up. We're not staying in pigeon for very long. Take one more breath here. In between any sciatic pain you might have, this is a really good pose that you can do isolated from any other yoga pose. You can just come into pigeon at any time and stay here as long as you like. And remember, the more flexible you get, the more of a 90-degree angle this bent leg will get. On your next exhalation, curl the right toes under. We're going to lift the back knee, and we're going to come into a down dog from here. So be very careful, walk the legs out, and be proud of yourself for doing those splits. Just being willing to try something. We're coming into that on the other side. So go ahead and walk the feet forward. Get your blocks ready, or block or blankets, whatever you can use to support. You can even use pillows from your couch cushions. And then go ahead and see what we can do on the other side here. Good. Take a couple breaths. Notice where you're feeling the tightness. Send your breath to those areas. Don't overdo it. It shouldn't be painful. A good stretch is what we're looking for. One more breath before we come into pigeon. Go ahead and exhale. Remove any support and bend that right knee. Internally rotate that back leg. So the toes should not be pointing out. Be sure they're pointing in. And come into your pigeon, taking a few breaths. Sitting up nice and tall here. The pelvis should be even. If it's not, put some support under that right butt cheek. One more breath here. Go ahead and flatten the hands. Curl the left toes under, lift that back knee nice and slow. Nice and slow, walk the legs out. Good, we're gonna do a little flow here of down dog and up dog. So go ahead and get your foundation right. Make sure to use your breath with these movements here. On your next inhalation, remember the hips will hover above the mat. We're going to shift the weight forward, drop the pelvis down, look up. Exhale, come into down dog. Inhale, up dog. Exhale. One more time, inhale. Exhale, down dog. And then come down to your knees. Sit on the heels, rest the arms, come into child's pose for just a moment. Grabbing the heels helps the arms rest. And after one more breath, I want you to bring your hands back to the mat. We're just going to stretch the arms a little bit here. Come to your hands and knees. Bring the right hand to the center of the mat. Lift the left arm, thread it through, resting the head on the mat. And the left palm will be facing the ceiling, reaching the left fingertips as far as you can. The right hand is going to be supporting you and pressing into the mat to help you come into this twist. Feel the stretching coming from the left shoulder blade and the left shoulder socket. Exhale, come up to hands and knees. We'll do the other side. Left hand comes to the center, right arm opens, slide it through. Pressing, lengthening, breathing. And as you exhale, come back to center. So we're at hands and knees here. And we're going to go ahead and do our Betalasana. So most of the time we're doing it at the beginning of class, but here we are going to do it at the end. So go ahead and inhale, dropping the belly. Lift the chin, raise the tail. And as you exhale, lead with the tailbone, rounding the spine, dropping the head. Go with the pace of your breath here. As your belly's dropping towards the mat, feel the spine get heavy as well. Release the muscles in the lower back, around the spine. Exhale and arch. Inhale, drop. Let's do one more round of this. Exhale, arch. Inhale, drop. All right, so one more, and let's go ahead and drop the shoulders. And then we're going to come back into our thunderbolt pose. So sit on the heels. We're going to do 2 more twists before we finish up. And the first one, we're going to just let the left sitting bone come to the floor. The top of the left foot is going to come to the opposite thigh. So let me turn here. All right. And then we're just going to bring that left hand behind us, right hand to the outside of the left knee. Inhale, lift. Exhale, soften. So this twist kind of makes lifting the chest, opening the chest even more accessible than some other poses might, some other twists. So you might feel the stretch a little bit deeper in the lower back. And then exhale, coming back to center. Before we go on to the other side, we're going to straighten the right leg. Bring the left foot on the outside of the right leg, and this will be our last twist. So left fingertips behind you, right arm up and over to the outside of the left knee. Inhale, lift. Exhale, soften. The right foot is active. You're flexing, pushing out through the ball mount of the big toe. Inhale, lengthen one more time. Exhale, soften. See if you can go a little deeper. And then on your next exhalation, slowly come back to center. And we will do this on the other side. Go ahead and bend the left leg. Bring the top of the right foot to the top of the left thigh. You want to make sure to maybe pull away that skin away from your right sitting bone and drop the pubis toward the mat. So right fingertips away from you, left hand comes to the right knee. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, soften. Next exhalation, slowly come back to center. And we will straighten this left leg. Bring the right foot to the outside of the left knee. Keep the left leg nice and strong. Right fingertips behind you. Left elbow comes up and around. Over on the outside of the left knee. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, soften. See if you can inhale, lengthen one more time here. Exhale, go deeper into the twist if you can. And on your next exhalation, slowly come back to center. We're going to uncross the legs. And of course, we always want to end with our Shavasana. So go ahead and lie down and get comfortable. You can even do one more hugging of the knees, massaging the spine on the mat. And then when you're ready, drop the feet, straighten the legs. Take a nice long stretch. We love to end our practices with a nice long stretch. Circle the ankles and the wrists if you want to. Do what feels good right here for your body. And then separate the ankles. Let the feet hang open. Bring the palms up towards the ceiling. Allow the shoulder blades to come together to be nice and flat on the mat. And bring the chin down just a little bit lower than the forehead. Close the eyes. With each exhalation, feel the muscles melting away from the bones. And give yourself permission for the next few moments to rest and be still. Begin to wiggle the fingers and the toes. Slowly bend the knees. Roll onto your side and give yourself a moment here. Use the strength of your arms to push yourself back up into a seated position. Thank you for allowing me to guide you today. Namaste.